Hello, and welcome to the Introduction to Tasks video from MyAssistant training. As we discussed in our Getting Started video, tasks are at the core of the Sage MyAssistant software. In this video, we will introduce you to the concept of tasks in Sage MyAssistant by way of defining exactly what a task is, as well as discussing how tasks are used and their important role in the Sage MyAssistant software. We'll also be reviewing the key components that make up tasks and show you where you can find pre-built tasks that come with the software and are not only ready to use, but can be a great learning tool. But let's start with the basics and begin with what a task is. We define a task in Sage MyAssistant as some activity to be performed by the software, primarily activities that focus on monitoring and information distribution. Some of the things MyAssistant can monitor through tasks and then notify you of include situations where vendor insurance is about to expire or when AR invoices are past due. But that's not the only thing tasks in Sage MyAssistant can do. They can also serve as an extension of your workflow, doing simple duties such as sending direct deposit statements, sending logs and reports to project managers, or sending work orders to technicians. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because every day Sage 300 users are finding new, unique, and creative ways to utilize tasks in MyAssistant. Now let's dig a little deeper into the tasks themselves. There are three elements to every task that you should know: a condition, a schedule, and an email message, which is composed in the email message template. Let's start with the task condition. Each MyAssistant task has a condition associated with it, and the condition is important because it defines what information to look through in the Sage 300 database, as well as what specific information to look for. For example, a task condition may look through AR invoices for open invoices that are past due, or through employee time entries for those who should be paid overtime. It can also review service work orders to find those that are not scheduled or need to be sent to the technician, or even review subcontracts for almost any contract compliance issue. Let's move on to the task schedule. This is going to determine when the task will run. The beauty of it is you have a lot of options when it comes to scheduling your tasks. For example, you can set a task to run daily, once a week, like every Monday at 4 a.m., only once a month on whatever day you like, the 15th, the 1st, the 30th, the 28th, whatever you want. Or you can set up a task schedule to run only when you want to by setting a manual schedule and using the Run and Send button. Another thing you can do is schedule a task to run at the conclusion of another Sage 300 program. It's also important to remember that tasks can have more than one schedule, meaning you have more customization options about when you want to run your tasks. Let's move on to the last key element of a task, the email message template. This is the template where you're going to compose the email message that is sent when the situation defined in the task condition is found. In the email message, there are a couple of key areas to keep in mind. The recipient's line, where you can choose a specified email or pull from an email directory. The message body, where you can have just plain text or mail merge. List of Sage 300 items like past due invoices, unapproved change orders, and so on. And the attachments, where you can attach a PDF or a crystal report to the email that you send out. And for a more comprehensive understanding of the email message template, let's actually go into the software for the first time. Here we are in the home screen, and the email message template is found inside the task wizard, which opens up every time you select either New, Activate, or Open. Now let's go into more detail on the actual template. First of all, here's the recipient section. You can enter email addresses or designate MyAssistant to pull an email from a list depending on the information found using an email directory. For example, an email directory can be used to send each project manager only their information and no one else's. We've expanded on the concept of email directories in another video on our channel, which we really encourage you to go and check out for more information. Next, you have the body of the email. Here you can include just normal plain text, or you can merge Sage 300 data into the message body. A good example of this mail merge technology would be to send AP vendors a letter with information specific to each one of them. These next two areas work hand in hand. The one on the left is where you'll see the list of Sage 300 items that match the criteria set in the condition, and the section on the right will determine what supplementary information will accompany the Sage 300 items in the list. For example, if you send out an email with just a list of cost codes that were over budget, just having the codes and no other information wouldn't do you a lot of good. By opening these drop-down sections on the right and dragging the fields inside onto the list on the left, you can add that data to the list of Sage 300 items that will be sent out in the email. Finally, we have the option to generate and attach reports. For example, you can set up a task to generate each employee's direct deposit pay stubs, and then attach the pay stub in a PDF to the email message that gets sent to each employee. We don't want to confuse you too much, but the answer lies in our email directories video, which explains how one task can perform an activity like sending pay stubs to all employees, and how the attachment to each individual recipient would contain unique content. So now that we've shown you the basics of a task, we want to show you one of the fantastic features that comes with the Sage MyAssistant software. Every copy of Sage MyAssistant comes loaded with over 100 pre-made, ready-to-run tasks. These pre-built tasks, as we like to refer to them, cover a wide range of areas of your business, such as managing project extras or change orders, receivables, costs, and so on. To learn more about tasks themselves, we encourage you to watch our other videos on activating pre-built tasks and how to create your own tasks from scratch. So let's review. In this video, we've introduced you to MyAssistant tasks and how they are at the center of the Sage MyAssistant software. We've broken down the task into 3 key elements: the condition, the schedule, and the email message template. And we've told you about the pre-built tasks that come with every copy of Sage MyAssistant. As discussed in our Getting Started video, the first thing we recommend in starting with the Sage MyAssistant software is to begin building a list of situations that you'd like to have monitored, as well as situations where you'd like to be notified if something happened. This is where the list comes into play, as when you now explore the Sage MyAssistant software, you have a guide to either discover pre-built tasks or design your own tasks that monitor and report on those exact situations. Be sure to check out all of the other videos on our channel, including one on sending reports and another one on activating pre-built tasks. Thank you for watching.